So, F1 Academy, what's that all about? I'm not used to doing this! This is a project that I set up for myself, where I'm going to take you on a little trip into the world of F1 Academy. Because we've only had this series around since 2023, so it's still fairly new. And it's actually changed basically every year. Obviously 2023 season is the inaugural season, so we didn't know what to expect. We couldn't even watch it on TV, which was a disgrace. 2024, we could actually watch it, yay! And we also got the introduction of drivers being supported by F1 teams, big brands, and it became an actual thing really. It felt like a proper series. 2025 is a little bit different. They've decided to switch up the qualifying, and we've got a few new brands in, and also a lot of new drivers. Right, so where to start? We're gonna start with the basics of F1 Academy. What is F1 Academy? It is a all-female series, basically F4 sort of level, so it's basically trying to get more females into the wonderful sport of motor racing. A few people might think this is basically just a rebirth of W series. Yes and no. It's still an all-female series, but it's just under a different name, under different management, and hopefully it's not going to go bankrupt this time. So, what's the deal with F1 Academy? Calendar, teams, what are we doing? So the first thing I'm going to cover is going to be the calendar for this season. So it's a shorter calendar compared to an F1 season. Think of it as almost like an F3 length calendar. It's got 7 rounds. I have written a little bit about each round. Ta-da! And we've got a couple new tracks as well. We've got round 1, which is Shanghai, our first new track of the season, and also our opener, yay! So drivers did some testing, it was last week at the time of recording. The second length is 5.51 kilometers. Obviously we don't have any previous race results, like I said, so there's no fastest lap, no previous winners. I am excited. I am really excited to see what goes down at Shanghai. Jeddah, it was our season opener last year, it's our round 2 this year, and the first of our returning tracks. So the first and only race we've had there was last year. Like I said, it was a season opener. This is a slightly longer circuit, and it's also a street circuit. There is more on the line. If you mess up, you're in a wall. There is just kind of no way about it. The only track I can think of that is worse or more punishing is gonna be Monaco. It's not that much better. So yeah, the circuit length is over 6 kilometers. Our previous winners were last year, so we had Dorian Pan won round 1, and Abby Pillay won the second race, and Dorian Pan got pole for both races as well. She also got the fastest lap. Dorian Pan was basically dominating the whole weekend until Abby Pillay unexpectedly kind of took the win in round 2. So basically, if you didn't see what happened last year, second race, there was kind of a mishap. So what happened was Dorian Pan basically led the whole race and she finished. However, she actually didn't realize she had finished the race, so she kept going at full racing speed for, I think it was at least an extra lap. Now, that is a big no-no, because once people finish a race, they are going at a reduced speed, so this is seen as quite dangerous. She got slapped with a really hefty penalty after the race, and Abby Pillay inherited the win. Round 3, Miami, another returning track just a few weeks after the Jeddah race. First race, again, back in 2024, and it is a similar length to Shanghai, but it's a completely different circuit to Shanghai. It is a, I don't know if they officially call it a street circuit. I would call it a street circuit just because of how it is. It's kind of similar in a sense of you mess up, you are likely to go in the wall. There are a couple of sections of the track where there is runoff. Pulling domination last year, she got the fastest lap, she got both wins and both pole positions. You're going to see a recurring theme, like I said. Move on to round 4, Montreal, Canada. One of these circuits I would love to visit, honestly. We haven't had a race here, so obviously we don't have any data. However, it is a very historic track if you've ever watched F1, and it is also known for rain. We haven't really had a wet race in F1 Academy from my memory, so I would quite like to see a wet race. Is a shorter circuit. It is 4.3 kilometers. Again, I am looking forward to this round. It's gonna be pretty dope. So our returning track since season 1, we have got Zandvoort. Quite a bit of race data because obviously we've had 2 races here. Now I will say that 2023 was different from 2024 in a sense of they had a different format. They had 3 races per round. So it was kind of a longer season, but they didn't go as many places. They just had more races, if that makes sense. In 2023, the wins went to Hamda Al-Khabaisi in race 1 and 3 and Carrie Schreiner in race 2. 2. The fastest lap for that weekend was Hamda Al-Baisi again. They move on to 2024 and we had another pulling / pan battles. So pulling won in round 1 and pan won in round 2. And then Poland 2024 again was pulling and pan for race 1 and race 2 respectively. So round 6, one of my personal favorite tracks again is Singapore. Pulling dominated. She actually loved the circuit a lot. The final round of the season, which I was quite surprised about, but also it's going to be really cool, is Las Vegas. It is a spectacle on the F1 calendar. I'm sure it's going to be a spectacle on the F1 Academy one. It's actually one of the longest circuits on the F1 Academy calendar at 6.2 kilometers. So this year we've got a slight change in teams. We've got a new team on the grid, so I'll just run you through the teams that we have on the 2025 grid. So we got Prema, who are still the reigning champions of F1 Academy. They're based in Italy, and if you haven't watched feeder series that much, Prema is a really dominant name. If you go with Prema, you're usually gonna get a long way. The best example I can give is Charles Leclerc. So yeah, they got P1 in 2023 and 2024, literally separated by 6 points between the years. They got 419 points in 2023 and they got 425 points in 2024. And onto our second team, Rodan Motorsport, who Abby Pulling won with last year. I didn't actually realize this. I found out a little bit of a fact. I knew that Rodan was based in Surrey, which is in the UK. I didn't realize that they're actually from New Zealand. This is something I've learned whilst doing this. I've learned a lot whilst doing this. Again, they have 3 available seats just like Prema, and they came P3 in 2023 and then P2 in 2024. Third team, which again has 3 available seats, Campos Racing. Campos is one of my favorite feeder series teams. They are our Spanish-based feeder series team, and once again, they also debuted in 2023. They had a bit of a rough start in 2023. They got P5 with, I say only, they got 252 points. Whereas 2024, they literally upped their total by 40 points and they got P3. We go on to our 4th team, our Dutch team, MP Motorsport. Very respectable team as well. Another 3 seats available there. In 2023, they came P2 with quite a respectable 411 points. In 2024, they came P4 with 178. ART, French-based team. They had a bit of a rough season last year. They came P5 compared to their P4 in 2023. I'm looking forward to their lineup once again. I think they have a really good lineup. And introducing our new team. So they're not new to the world of motor racing. They've actually been around for quite a while. This team has actually been around longer than I've been born. They were actually created, I believe, in 2002. Hi-Tech. They're based in Silverstone, the home of Grand Prix racing. And unlike the other teams, they have got 2 seats this year. So just to make that make sense, F1 Academy run a wildcard system. A wildcard is basically somebody who comes in for a round and they're in a wildcard seat. Now, last year they were a part of the Prema team, so Prema had the wildcard seat alongside their regular 3 seats because they're the reigning champions of 2023 and 2024. However, because Hi-Tech is the new team this season, they have got the wildcard seat. However, they have just got 2 basically regular type seats plus the 1 wildcard, if that makes sense. Again, I'm really excited to see what Hi-Tech bring. They are a very respectable team. Now we go into the teams themselves, who is driving for the teams. So the first team we are going to start off with is ART Grand Prix. So in 2023, they had a really respectable lineup. They had Lena Buller. She came P2 in the championship. She lost out to Marta Garcia, but she was a really good driver. Also in the ART team for 2023, they had Carrie Schreider with her 1 win and 1 podium, and Chloe Grant, who is one of my favorite British young drivers. And they came P4 in the constructors, despite having Lena Buller and Carrie Schreider, who both won races. They got 3 wins as a team and 14 podiums overall. It's quite a good stat. It's quite surprising they ended P4. 2023 was a close season compared to 2024 in terms of constructors. Moving on to 2024, we had Bianca Bustamante, but she is the Filipino speed queen. She was with McLaren last year and she got 1 podium. She was one of the only drivers I noticed last year to not get a DNF. Driving alongside Bianca, we had Leah Block, who was part of the Williams Academy. It was actually her first season in single-seater cars. To get P8 in the championship, just behind her teammate who had not only 2 years in F1 Academy by that point, but also I'm pretty sure she had a year in W Series. That is pretty respectable, so I applaud Leah Block. As well as Aurelia Nobles, who came P12 in the championship. Her highest finish was P5. So unfortunately, they only finished P5 in the standings, which is last. They only got 1 podium, but again, I am excited for the ART lineup, and I think that it's pretty good this year. You might be asking, who is the ART lineup this year? So we've got Aurelia Nobles and Leah Block both returning. So Leah Block is still with Williams and Aurelia Nobles is still with Puma. However, we got one of our wild cards. So the first wild card that I will be talking about is Courtney Crowe. She was our wild card in Miami and she is going to be supported by Haas, which is unsurprising. Given so far Haas is supporting American drivers. So let's talk about Courtney Crowe, the first of our 18 drivers we're going to be talking about today. So like I said, she was one of our wildcards last season, but let's get to know her ahead of this season. So she's from the United States. She was born in California. She's slightly older than me. I might be making reference to my age. I was born in May 2003. So Courtney Crowe was born 7th of March 2001. She's actually, this is really weird to say, she's one of the older drivers on the grid, which is actually not a bad thing because the older ones seemingly have a lot of experience compared to the younger ones, but there are a few younger ones I have looked into who have loads of experience. So she's with ART, and like I said, she's going to be supported by the American outfit Haas F1. So Courtney Crowe's racing career began in 2007. She did start karting or racing a little bit earlier. She mainly started off in what is called a midget series, which I'll have to put a picture up on the screen. I think those cars look so cool. I had no idea what they were called before I actually had to look them up because I was like, she's done a lot of these, like from 2007, 2010, 2016, 17, 18, 19. She's done so much of this series and she's actually got awards for it. She came P2 in her first official season in the Orange Show Quarter Midgets. She got podiums in 2016, 2017. She got wins in 2018, and she did a few Formula car races as well, sort of from 2018 onwards. So she knows her way around a car pretty well. Like I said, I've got a page and a half on her. She definitely knows what she's doing, and she's one of the drivers I'm really looking forward to seeing this season. She's also done a few sports car IMSA, and she got 6 podiums in 2023 with that. She also got a win in Formula Pro USA, which is kind of F4 style cars. So I've also done like a little section just called additional info, accolades and awards. It's basically just interesting facts about the drivers, whether they've won awards, whether they've got interesting facts about them, what they've done outside of sort of official championships. So like I said, she did her first official championship in 2007, so she would have been aged around 6. She started racing in 2005, aged 4. She's also won 3 track championships in motorcycles, so she's good on 4 wheels and 2, whether it's on-road, off-road. You know, she's kind of the full package. She was also the USAC Western States Midgets Rookie of the Year in 2016. Also in 2016, she won all 3 starts she had in Formula Mazda. She was also the Women's Motorsport Foundation Project Podium recipient, which was selected by Lynn St. James, who I believe used to be an IndyCar driver. Interestingly, I did mention W Series earlier, and you might hear W Series quite a bit with a few of the drivers. So in 2019/2020 season, she was actually invited to the shootout, but she wasn't selected to drive for that season. Probably a good thing because it shut down like 2 years later. And in 2023, she was awarded the IMSA Diverse Driver Development Scholarship, which she was also a finalist for in 2022. So we move on to Aurelia Nobles, who is a driver who I thought I knew quite a bit about. Turns out I don't. She's a little bit younger than her teammate. She was born in January 2007. Again, she's with ART again, and she's with Puma again. I've seen her livery and her jumpsuit. Initially, I was like, what is that? I have a feeling it's gonna grow on me. The Puma livery last year was so cool. The livery and the jumpsuit this year, I think it will have to grow on me because I'm really unsure about it. So she began her Formula racing career in 2022. I thought oh, that's a little bit late, but if you actually give the age, referring to my age, like I said, I'm born 2003, she's born 2007, so 2022 she would have been like 15-ish. So she did 3 championships that year. She did the F4 Brazilian, Danish and Spanish championship. She scored a few points across them. 2023 she went into the Italian F4 championship and the Euro 4 championship, both with Prema Racing. She didn't score any points that year from what I can see. 2024 she had another busy year. She did the Formula 4 UAE championship. She also did F1 Academy. She did the Euro 4 championship again. Both of those, the F1 Academy and Euro 4, she did with ART. And she also did the F4 Saudi Arabian championship, which I've seen a few drivers do whilst I've been looking at this, where she got a podium. Yay! And she also did the F4 British championship, where she scored a few points there. She was born to Belgian parents in Boston, USA, and grew up in Brazil, hence why she represents Brazil. In December 2002, she won the senior category of the Girls on Track. I don't know whether to call it a program, I think it's just more of a competition, and she got awarded a place in the Ferrari Driver Academy, where she still is today. Leah Block, respectable Leah Block. She's also American, she's from Utah. Born October 2006. Again, she's with ART, and again, she's with Williams. Williams like what she has to offer. I don't blame them, she's a pretty good driver. And she's been extremely successful in American Rally. Obviously, her dad, the late great Ken Block, as well. It's no surprise she's great, to be completely honest. She's got wins, she's got podiums, she's got championships. She's done great. She's mainly done American Rally, and then basically as she's come into F1 Academy last season, she's done a bit more formula racing. So basically from 2021 to around about 2023, 2024, it's mainly rally, which, like I said, again, she's got wins, she's got podiums, she's got a championship. She's driven with Blockhouse Racing, Hoonigan Division, which is obviously her family team. And then as we go into 2024, she's done Formula Winter, she's done Spanish F4, she's done Italian F4, she's done them respectively with GRS team and also ART. Yeah, additional info is that, like I said, she is the daughter of Ken Block, who was an American rally hero, effectively, and he was also the owner of Hoonigan Racing. Next team is one of my favorite feeder series teams, like I said, Campos Racing. So in 2023, they had quite a strong lineup. A couple of drivers you may have remembered from last year. So in 2023, they had Nerea Marti, who got 4th in the championship. She got a win in 6 podiums for the team, and Lola Lovenfoss, who also got 3 extra podiums for the team. They had a driver, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, she's Uruguayan. Her name is Meti Caceres, and her highest finish was P8. So they came P5 in the constructors, but 2023 was quite a close season, so take that with a pinch of salt. They've got 252 points. Across the team, they only got 1 win, which was Nerea Marti's, but still 9 podiums. Still pretty respectable. So you can even look at the constructors and be like, wow, that team's trash. But when you actually see 1 win and 9 podiums, it's actually still pretty good. Yeah, 2023 was a really competitive season. Moving on to 2024, who were the drivers last year, here you are. They had the return of Nerea Marti, who got 4 podiums last year. She was with Tommy Hilfiger. They also had Carrie Schreiner, who moved from ART. Her highest finish was P6, which is still pretty good. And then we have Chloe Chambers, who we've also got at the end this year. She got a win, and she also got 4 podiums. So 2025, the drivers we've got for Campos. Again, like I said, we've got Chloe Chambers. However, she has switched her team. So she's not with Haas anymore. She's still with Campos. But she switched from Haas to Red Bull Ford. We've got 2 new drivers. So we've got, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, and I'm really sorry if I do, Rafaela Ferreira, who is with RB or Racing Bulls, V-Carb, whatever you want to call them. I want to call them Toro Rosso, but I would be incorrect. And she wasn't a wild card, or she wasn't in F1 Academy last year. She's one of our many, many rookies. And then we've also got Alicia Palmowski. She's with Red Bull, and she was our wild card in Qatar. Unfortunately, she didn't really get to do much in Qatar, because the second race got cancelled. So yeah, let's get on to Campos. So we're going to start off with Rafaela Ferreira. So she is Brazilian. She's from Santa Catarina. She's April 2005 when she was born. She's with Campos, supported by Racing Bulls, or RB. Her racing career only started in 2022. However, she was quite successful. She started off in 2022 at Copa Brazil Decat. She got P4 at the championship. I couldn't find how much she scored, but she got P4, which is really damn good. So in 2023, she went over to Brazilian F4, where she got a podium. She continued in Brazilian F4 in 2024. She got P4 in the championship, where she also got 3 wins and 10 podiums. Both those Brazilian F4 championships, she was with TMG Racing. She became the first female to get pole position in the Brazilian Karting Championship in the F4 graduate category in 2022. In 2023, she became the first female on the podium in F4 Brazil, which is quite a feat. And then she also became the first female to win in Brazilian F4 the following year. I reckon she's going to be a little pocket rocket. Let's see about her. We move on to Chloe Chambers. Again, one of the drivers who I've got quite a bit to say about. She has got quite a lot. and I do like Chloe Chambers. So like I said, she's moved from Haas to Red Bull Ford this year. So she's American, however she was born in Guangdong, China, and she started off karting in 2014, so she would have been 10, and she did a lot of karting in Florida. So yeah, there's so much karting. Literally from 2014 all the way to 2021, where she jumped up into Formula Series racing. She did manage to get a P3 in 2019 in karting. I think she was only with 2 or 3 teams from what I can see. She also did a bit of Canadian karting as well. Lots of karting from Chloe Chambers before her jump to single-seaters in 2021. Her first championship in single-seaters was Formula 4, United States Championship. She also did a few winter series as well. She did the Eastern Pro 4 Challenge. She was also in W Series as well. There was a few drivers. Like I said, I will be mentioning W Series quite a little bit. She was with Jenna Racing. She was actually Jamie Chadwick's teammate before the whole thing went kaput in Caitlyn Jenner's team, which has not actually been seen since it imploded. She did a few Formula Regionals. She did some Porsche sprints before she jumped into F1 Academy in 2024. She got a win, she got a podium, and she got 2 fastest laps. She did a few IMSA races. That's another series I'm going to be mentioning quite a lot. So it's like sports car stuff in 2024 as well. Some interesting facts about her. I've got quite a few interesting facts about Chloe Chambers. So she was born in China, like I mentioned, but she was adopted by American parents. She also has an adopted sister who is also from China and an adopted brother from Ethiopia. She currently holds the world record for the fastest vehicle slalom, which she set back in 2020. Racing a 2020 Porsche 718 Spider. So basically she had to navigate slalom of cones. It was 50 cones. She managed to do that in 47.45 seconds, and that is a standing record at the moment. With Fernando Alonso's management company, A14 Management. So in 2022 she was in the F3 test at Manicourt, and she also did another test in July 2024 in a hybrid car at Silverstone, a 2019 hybrid car I should say. And she's one of the many women who I may mention who took part in the Formula E women's test that happened very recently. Alicia Palmowski. I'm very excited to talk about her. So she's British, she's from Derbyshire. She started her racing career in 2018. She kind of did one karting championship per year. So in 2018 she did the Burial Art UK series in the junior category. And then 2019, 2020 and 2021 she was in the Danny Ricciardo series or DRS 100. She got P2 in 2020 and 2021. In 2022 she went to the Ginetta Championship, specifically the Ginetta Winter Championship, where she again got P2. She got 2 podiums and 2 poles just in 4 races. Really good. She then did the Ginetta Junior Championship, where she did 25 races. Both of their series were with PrepTech UK. She then continued with Ginetta Junior in 2023, where in 27 races, she got 10 podiums, 1 pole, and 1 fastest lap. She finished P5 overall in the championships. Pretty damn good. Then in 2024, she did GB4, which is kind of where I started seeing her, because I do follow GB4 a little bit. In 20 races, get this, so she finished P2 in the championship. So in 20 races, she got 3 wins, 11 podiums, 2 poles, and a fastest lap. She did that with Elite Motorsport, who happens to be one of my local teams. And then, like I said, in F1 Academy, she was our wildcard in Qatar. So in 2022, she won the Ginetta Junior Scholarship, joining Jamie Chadwick as the only female to do so. Like I said, with Chloe Chambers, she took part in the FE Women's Test with Envision. So our third team we are moving on to is Rodin Motorsport, who finished P2 and P3 in 2023, 2024. So we're starting to get to the top running team. So our first driver we're going to mention, Abby Bulling, who was with the team in 2023. She got 7 podiums, finished P5 overall. We got Jess Edgar, another British driver. She got a win in 2023, as well as 4 other podiums. We also got Megan Gilks. Interesting fact, because I kept recognising the name Megan Gilks when I looked this up. She's a Canadian driver. She came P13. Her highest finish was P5 in the race. I'm pretty sure it's Megan Gilks that I looked up, and she is actually now part of Aston Martin. She does engineering, I believe. Then we move on to 2024, where the team's a little bit more successful, thanks to Abby Pulling. She got 9 wins, 14 podiums, and won the championship. We also saw Jess Edgar return for the team. Her highest finish was only P4 for that season. And Lola Loving-Foss switched to Rodin for 2024. She is no longer racing with us. Her highest finish was P7. She got P14 in the championship, just behind her teammate Jess Edgar. They got P2 in the championship, and all their wins and podiums came from Abby Pulling. So moving on to 2025, seeing if we can get that top P1 spot. So we've got Emma Felbermayer, who is our Austrian driver, the first Austrian we've got in the series. She's with Kick Sauber. We've got Ella Lloyd, who was one of our wildcards last year. She was our wildcard at Singapore, did pretty well. The Welsh driver, she's representing McLaren, taking over from Bianca Bustamante. And we've got Chloe Chong, who I'm so happy is back in the series. She is with Charlotte Tilbury. So our first Austrian driver in F1 Academy, Elma Felbermayer. I think that's how I pronounce her name. I'm really sorry if I'm getting any of these names wrong. She was born January 2007. She's with Rodin, and she's been supported by Kick Sauber. Her karting career began in 2020. She was in the European Championship. And I shouldn't say her karting career began in 2020 because so far it has all been karting. So this is her first jump to single seaters, which is quite fun. It's quite interesting. She's done a few European regional championships. She's got a few top 10 finishes, but nothing else to report there. She's done a lot of the WSK Supermaster Series. She's done that for many years in a row. She's done a couple Italian things. But yeah, this is her first jump to single seaters, so I can't really put a prediction on how it's gonna go. All I can hope is that it's gonna go well for her. But fun fact about her, she's a third generation racer. Her father and her grandfather, so Horst and Horst Jr., both participated in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So that's kind of cool. Moving on to our McLaren driver, our Welsh driver, Ella Lloyd from Pontypridd. She was born in July 2005. Her racing career started in 2022 as well. She's done a lot of Ginetta racing, 2022, 2023. In 2023, she got P2 in the championship. She got 10 wins, 17 podiums, 10 poles, and 7 fastest laps. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what will. She also did the British F4 Championship last year. She got 4 podiums with Rodin. And like I said, she was the wild card in Singapore last year. A few things to say about her. So in 2018, she was invited to the FIA Girls on Track Karting Challenge at Silverstone, which is her first ever experience of karting. Before then, nothing. And in 2023, she was chosen for the Motorsport UK Academy Futures program, which is pretty prestigious. Again, she partook in the FE Women's Test with McLaren. Her father, Chris Lloyd, who is a former rally driver and also participated in the 2018 Paralympics. He was an alpine skier, which is pretty damn cool. And she is managed by Greenlight Motorsports, who is owned by Guy Smith, who is the 2003 Le Mans winner, and Andy Mayrick, who is a ELMS driver. Moving on to our final driver for Rodin, Chloe Chong. Like I said, I am so happy she's back in the series. She's British, Canadian, Chinese. She's born in Watford, up in London. She was born, again, 2007. A lot of these drivers are 2007 babies. She began racing in the Kart Masters British Championship in the Rotax Minimax class. She did the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. She did the IAME Ladies Cup. She did the LGM Series in the junior category. She was in F1 Academy in 2023 as well. She got 1 fastest lap, and then she went back to British Formula 4 with JHR Development. So she started karting in 2013, just age 6. But the first thing I could find was from 2020. In 2022, she was invited to compete in the FIA Girls on Track Rising Stars competition and was a finalist in the senior category. And in 2023, she was actually the youngest driver on the F1 Academy grid. She was literally 15 when she was signed. Bianca Bustamante, who was her teammate back in 2023, actually became her legal guardian so she could travel, because basically she couldn't travel as a minor and her parents had to stay behind for her siblings to take them to school and stuff. So Bianca actually became basically one of her legal guardians so she could travel, which I find so sweet. Yeah, just shows the absolute camaraderie in this sport. on to our reigning champions, Prema Racing. So in 2023, like I previously mentioned, we had Chloe Chong. She was with Prema at that point. We have our 2023 champion, Marta Garcia, who got 7 wins and 12 podiums, and Bianca Bustamante, who got 2 wins and 4 podiums respectively. And yeah, they knocked out the park in 2023. They had a total of 9 wins and 16 podiums. And same can kind of be said in 2024. So they changed their lineup completely because Marta Garcia, she went off. Chloe Chong, she went off to go do her own things. Bianca switched teams. So they had a completely new lineup. They had Tina Hausmann, who's from Switzerland. Her highest finish was P4, which is pretty good for a rookie. Dorian Pan, who was the one battling Abby Pulling the whole season. She finished P2. She got 3 wins and 8 podiums. And Maya Vug, who is our Dutch Ferrari Academy driver, respectively, with a win and 8 podiums of her own. So yeah, they got 4 wins and 16 podiums. So 2 years in a row, they've got 16 podiums. I hope they can continue that. I'm going to mention the wildcards because they were technically part of the team. Rima Jafali, Courtney Crowe, Nina Gaidman, Ella Lloyd, Alicia Pomolsky, and Logan Hanna. Like I said, a few of those names you may recognize, including Nina Gaidman, who signed for Prema. Our Dutch driver, she will be representing Alpine, taking over from Abby Pulling. Dorian Pan is staying with Mercedes, staying with Prema. Same with Tina Hausmann, staying with Prema, staying with Aston Martin. Let's go on to Prema. So Nina Gaidman is actually the same age as me. She was also born 2003. She's taught by Alpine with Prema Racing. So her racing career started in 2019 with karting. She was in the IAME International Finals in the senior category. She did that so in the International Series and the Euro Series in 2019. She was also in the FIA Motorsport Games in the karting slalom. Came P1 with Team Netherlands, which is pretty good feat. In 2022, so a few years between races, she did the 24 Hours of Zolder. She came P16. Another couple of years go by. In 2024, she does the Rotax Max Challenge. In the winter, she came P14. She did the British F4 Championship. She did the F1 Academy. She was one of the wildcards. And fun fact about her, she also works as a content creator with F1 Esports and Veloce. On to Dorian Pan. Again, one of the few drivers I have literally got so much to say. Still with Mercedes, her racing career began in 2016 in France, unsurprisingly. She did a lot of French championships. She was the champion at de France Féminin in 2019. She was also in the FIA Motorsport Games in 2019 with Team France. She also did karting slalom. She did the Renault Clio Cup Challenge a few times. She was in the Le Mans Cup. She's done quite a lot, to be honest. She's done the Ferrari Challenge. She's done GT. She's done WEC. She has done so much. Lamborghini. I could literally go on and on and on and on about Dorian Pan. She's got so many wins, so many podiums, poles, fastest laps across just so many series. I would be here all day. Just know she's a very successful driver. Very, very promising. And she's also part of the Iron Dames and Iron Lynx. She drove for them for a lot of those championships. She's done Formula 4. Again, she's got wins, 24 Hours Le Mans, Formula 4, IMSA, F1 Academy. But she's got so many wins, so many podiums, so many top 3 championship finishes. Wow, it's all I can say about Dorian Pan, and I kind of have her at the top to win the championship. I was kind of expecting her to win last season, but Abby just pulled it out the bag. So like I said, she's part of the Iron Dames program. In 2022, she received the French Federation of Automobile Sport Bolat d'Or, which is a prestigious award. And in 2023, it was awarded the FIA WEC Revelation of the Year. So moving on to Tina Hausmann. She is our Swiss driver, staying with Aston Martin. So her karting career began in 2019. She was in the Swiss Rotax Max Challenge. She did the mini category and the junior category. She came P8 and P4 respectively. In 2021, she did the ADAC Kart Masters OK and the Formula Winter Series in 2023. So 2023 is when she properly started doing the Formula Series. She did Formula Winter, where she got a podium. She did Italian F4, Euro 4, all with AKM Motorsport. And in 2024, she went to F1 Academy, got P10 overall, which is pretty good for a rookie. And she also did Formula 4 UAE. The only fact I managed to find about her was in 2023, she was the highest placed female driver in Italian F4 and Euro 4. Onto our Dutch team, MP Motorsport. So in 2023 and 2024, they had the same driver lineup. They had both the Alkabasi sisters, Amna and Hamda, and they had Emily de Hausch. In 2023, Hamda Alkabasi, she got 4 wins, 7 podiums. She came P3 in the championship. Emily de Hausch, she got a win and 2 podiums herself, P9 in the championship. And Amna got 2 wins and 4 podiums herself. They came P2 in the championship with 7 wins and 13 podiums overall. 2024, not as much luck. They didn't get any wins and they got 3 podiums, all 3 scored by Hamda, who was P5 in the championship. So 2025, completely new lineup as all of those drivers' times are up. They've moved on from F1 Academy. We have got Alba Hurup Larsen, or she might just be referred to as Alba Larsen. She's our Danish driver who is representing Tommy Hilfiger. Maya Vug, who was promo racer last year, she is still with Ferrari. I think she's going to be one of the championship challengers. And we've got Joanne, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, she's Australian. We've got Joanne Cicionte, or Ciconte, I'm going to say Cicionte, who is the F1 Academy represented driver. So Alba Hurup Larsen, or just Alba Larsen, she's our Danish driver. She is one of the youngest on the grid, born in 2008, supported by Tommy Hilfiger. So her karting career began in 2022. She came P3 in the Zealand Championship. She did 8 Danish IAME. She did the Nordic version as well. She went back to the Zealand Championship in 2023 and got P1. In 5 races, she got 4 wins. She did the Italian IME. She did Danish Karting League, and then in 2024, she did the Indian F4 Championship. I couldn't find what position she came in though. So she started her karting aged 11-12 during the COVID lockdown. She was one of 4 selected finalists in the FIA Girls on Track Rising Stars program, and she won the shootout in the senior category. In Indian F4 in 2024, she was a rookie winner in only her 2nd race. She's personally mentored by Kevin Magnussen, who happens to be friends with her dad. And in 2024, I find this quite interesting, she launched the Alba Academy, which is an initiative to get girls into motorsport, which is freaking cool at her age. And she's had success in Copenhagen and is planning to expand to Sweden, Germany, USA, and China. That's pretty cool. I read a little bit into it, but you should definitely check that out. It's a really, really cool initiative she's doing. On to another driver I have a lot about, Maya Vug. Respectfully though, she is a really good driver. One thing I didn't know about Maya Vug, she is Dutch, Belgian, and Spanish. She was born in Costa Blanca, but she switched to MP Motorsport this year from Prema. She is still with Ferrari. So her karting career began in 2013. She did a lot of Spanish championships. She got P2 in a championship in 2015, won a championship straight after that. Literally all of this from 2013 to 2020 is all karting. She won a couple championships, she finished in the top 10 a few times, started single-seater racing in 2021 in the Italian F4 Championship, she did the ADAC Formula 4 Championship, she did the Italian F4 Championship again in 2022, and again the ADAC Formula 4 Championship. She did Formula Regional in 2023, and in 2024 she did F1 Academy, and in 14 races she got 1 win and 8 podiums, 1 fastest lap, finishing P3, just behind her teammate Dorian Pan. She also did the Formula Regional Championship again. So a few more facts about Maya Vug. In 2020 she was nominated to compete in the FIA Girls on Track Rising Stars program. She won it, she won the shootout and became the first female to join the Ferrari Driver Academy. She debuted with I Am Lynx, which is part of Iron Dames, in 2021 and associated with her membership with the FDA. In 2021 she did the F3 test, which Chloe Chambers was in, and Manny Core, and she has competed under the 3 different flags in her career, being born in Spain to a Dutch father and a Belgian mother. Our final driver for MP, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Her name is Joanne Cicionte, and she is supported just by F1 Academy. She has the F1 Academy livery. So she started karting in 2023. She did Spanish F4 last year. She did Formula 4 in the Central European Championship, Australia Formula Open, where she got 3 podiums in 3 races, and also the Formula 4 Australian Championship. So she started karting when she was 9. In 23, she won the pink plate at the Australian Karting Championship, was a finalist in the FIA Girls on Track Rising Stars competition in the senior category in 2023, and she was part of Pro Racing Motorsport, which is owned by Giancarlo Fisichella and Mario Cicciotti. So we're moving on to our newest team on the grid, High Tech Racing. So they were founded in 2002. They initially were just High Tech Racing, and in 2015 moved to be known as High Tech Grand Prix or High Tech GP. So yeah, they're based in Silverstone. So their team founders was Dennis Rushton and David Hay. That was from 2002 to 2014. And they moved over to Oliver Oakes from the 2015 championship, who is now the Alpine team boss. So they currently compete in Formula 3, Formula 2, GB3, British F4, Euro 4 and the Formula Winter Series. So Team Constructors Championships, they have won it in Formula 3 Sud-America, F3 Asian Championship twice, the F3 Asian Winter Series and the F4 British Championship. They have quite a few driver champions, some of which you may have heard of. They've got Marco Asma in 2007 in British F3, Felipe Guimarães in F3 Sud-America, Raul Hyman in 2018 and Yuko Sashihara in 2019, both in F3 Asia. Rinus van Halenvoet, I don't know how to pronounce him, 2019 in F3 Asian Winter Series. And then Alex Dunn and Dagan Fairclough 2022-2024 in British F4. Moving on to F1 Academy. Like I said, they've got 2 regular full-time seats, 1 wildcard seat. So their drivers who are full-time are Nicole Havrada. She's Canadian, she's with American Express, and I am really going to struggle to pronounce this one's name. Ava Anagonostitaris. She's Australian, she's with Tag Her. Nicole Havrada, she is Canadian, she's from British Columbia, born in January 2006. She is with High Tech, the new High Tech team. She is supported by American Express. Started off 2019 in the West Coast Kart Club. She does a lot of this West Coast Kart Club. She got a podium there. 2020, she did the Challenge of the Americas. She did West Coast Kart Club again. She got 7 podiums. She did the Western Canadian Kart Championship. She got P3. She did the Calgary Shootout. She got P1. She did the Rotax Max Challenge and was in the grand final. She got P6 there. In 2021, again, she did West Coast Kart Club. In 6 races, she got 3 wins and 6 podiums. In the Canadian National, she got P8. Rotax Western Final, she got P2. She's a really successful driver. 2022, she did Formula Pro USA and Indian Racing League. 2023, she did the Formula Pro Winter Series. She got P1. She won the championship. In 4 races, she got 2 wins and 4 podiums. Formula Pro USA, P1. She won the Formula Pro USA Championship. In 10 races, she got 7 wins and 9 podiums. Formula Regionals America, Indian Racing League, and then last year she was in Formula Regionals Americas. She got 4 podiums there and was in WRL Endurance. I am looking forward to her. I've not heard of her before her signing, but then looking into her, I'm like, wow, she is one to look out for. So a little additional info about her. So in the West Coast Kart Club in 2019, she was the Rookie of the Year. In 2022, she competed in a W Series test. Also in 2022, she tested in Formula 3 machinery and was also featured in a Women in Motorsports documentary called The Car No Knows Difference. I need to find where that's on. I'd love to watch that, to be honest. On to a teammate who I can't pronounce her name. Ava Anagonostiadis. We're gonna go with that. She's Australian. She's from Melbourne. She's born 2007. So she's with High Tech and she's sponsored by Tag. 2018, where she started her racing career, she was in the Superkarts USA Super Nationals in the Mini Swift category. 2021, she was in the Australian Kart Championship. In 2022, she did the FIA Motorsport Games with Team Australia. In 2024, she did the F4 Indian Championship. She's done quite a lot of interviews I've seen, along with her Australian compatriot, about wanting to be the next Australian driver in F1. So she started karting age 6. She was actually inspired by her mum, who was an avid karter, her mum Barbara. And a reason why I recognise the surname is because her brother James, who is slightly younger than her, is part of the Mercedes Junior program. In 2022, she joined the Alpine's Race Her program and is also an ambassador of this year's Australian F1 Grand Prix. Predictions for this season then. So who do I think is going to win the championship? I kind of have to go with Dorian Pan on this one. Just because of last year, we saw how well she's done. And the amount of championships, wins, podiums she has, I kind of have to gravitate towards her. Who do I think can challenge her? Maya Vuk, her old teammate. Out of the rookies, I kind of have to go with people like Courtney Crone, Ella Lloyd, Alicia Palmolsky. Maybe because they've already been in F1 Academy machinery, I see the potential in them. Returning drivers, I hope Leah Block get on the podium. Same with Tina Houseman. I think they have that potential. Yeah, I'm just looking through my notes and there are so many drivers I really want them to do well. People like Alba Hurup Larson, or the two Aussies, Sisonte and Aganostis. I think they can do really well as well. Same with Nicole Havrada. So my plan is I'm going to do a notebook after every race. That's where I'm going to talk about the wildcards as well. Do like a race recap sort of thing, qualifying recap. I'll do it after the race weekend just because it's a little bit easier and it means I can talk about everything in one go and I have to do a lot less editing. Hopefully. If you've watched this far, I'm genuinely so grateful and I hope we get to go on this really interesting F1 Academy 2025 journey. Peace.